Hello, all. Bob, Randall and Company. I'm the Bob, and over here to this side of me is the man who helps keep me in line. That's right. We're not talking about nothing more than sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf. Well, Randall Santa Checker Lee, the great magical Randy, keeps me out of the treetops,
Oh my
which is
goodness, that was
well,
way too much, Bob. That was way too much. That's gonna cost me a mint for that one.
well, it's a well
That was sweet.
It's a well-known fact that the elves on the shelves love to sit on top of the trees, and sometimes I feel like going out and climbing a tree, Randy.
Oh man, that's as busy as you can be with this stuff. I mean, we were just talking in the green room before, guys, that how crazy it is. There's so many things going on, and it's March. Think about it. Our most people think our busiest season is November through December, and that's all we work, or that's all we really participate in things. And it's like it's crazy how many things are nonstop this time of year. It's incredible. And besides,
Well,
you still have
besides
family, you still have everything else going on.
besides the two shows, I mentioned to you that it's also spring break in a big portion of the country, so families and folks like to take little trips. Those that get a few days off from work, and so everybody has plans this week. You got the Lone Star Santa Roundup happening here in Texas. Just to name one of the events that's going on around the country. I mean, it's just a busy time of year, any way you look at it.
Wow.
And then there's the weather. As we mentioned last week, we're kind of in a
Yeah.
transitional period. Yeah, and we're roller coastering right now. 45 this morning, 68 out there right now. It is sunny here in the DFW area, and we have humidity about 39%, which is not too bad for us. Winds are about 11 mile per hour. It's like I said, it's Sunday, sunny. Tomorrow, mid 70s. Wednesday, upper 70s. And then we get another cool front back in here on Friday with chance of rain for a few days. So it's a roller coaster.
It is. That's the way it was. I woke up yesterday morning. I look outside, and we had a couple inches of snow. All the grass was all turned white and everything else. I mean, thank goodness it was gone by the afternoon. But what a shocker seeing snow. We haven't had much around here in the Metro Detroit area, but this morning was 28, cold as can be and windy. And now it's sunshiny, and I think it's like 58 degrees or 59 degrees right now. It's such a roller coaster this time of year. It's but that's the transition between the winter and the spring. And of course, we all had to spring forward over the weekend. We lost an hour of sleep besides, which doesn't help things.
That's another thing that messes you up. Analysts say that it takes you 2 to 3 weeks to really readjust to that 1 hour difference in the clock. So,
Yeah, 1 hour.
I really wish that we would either go on one or go on the other and stay there year round. This bouncing back and forth really is hard. And I know a lot of folks feel the same way, but hey, again, we have to deal with it. Speaking of weather, Phillips out there in Central California, he's joining us today. And, we were just talking back in the green room too about another system coming in off the West Coast. It's going to dump a bunch of snow to the west, especially the Four Corners region is going to get a lot of snow for multiple days there. So that springtime transition, Mother Nature sometimes just doesn't want to cooperate.
Hey, how can you really? We can't fight with Mother Nature.
No,
You can't really. When she wants to rule the thing, so just kind of let her do her thing, and hopefully we can survive. She doesn't get too ticked off and give too bad weather.
so true. Well, we got Charlie on with us today. Charlie Johnson's always one of the first ones to jump on. Ernie Rizzo is on. Randy and Debbie Neely. Eric and Mo is on. Good to see you guys again. Our good brother up
AJ's
in Ontario, Canada, Mike Hutchins. Looks like
AJ's
we got
on.
Paul Smith on. Dana Prostrollo. She says she likes to listen to us on the way home. So from her work, Adam is on with us today.
I see.
Looks like Ken is on. Gosh, we got some good
Nathan
folks on here with us today.
Nathan
Yeah.
Vanderbrook's on. Judy's on. We got a lot of great people. Jackie, great to see everybody. Man, thank you for
Diane
joining everybody.
Diane VN. I don't know if we mentioned her name. We're running through them so quick here, but yeah. Who?
Thank you.
Ken. Yeah, Ken's on. So fantastic to have everyone with us
Thank
today. You know what? Let's just go ahead and dive right in and let's get into
you.
that big old burger. We always love this segment. Our favorite.
Yeah, nap.
All right, as usual, the king of questions, Mr. Randall Santa Checker Lee, is going to go first, and he's got a
Some of
good
your
one for you
crazy
today.
questions you've been posing last few weeks have been you could become the king of the questions there, those trivia questions. But we'll see what happens today, guys. Got
All
a good
right,
one
let's
going
see.
today. Got a good question going today. Last week, Bob brought up about websites. How often do we update? How often do we, you know, change that? Things like that. So I just took it a step further. Do you get new professional photos done on a yearly basis? Or do you take your own promotional pictures with your, you know, with your iPhone that really does great pictures? Do you use those as promotional pictures? So what do you do? Do you get new promotional pictures every year or on a semi, maybe not every year, but every couple of years? Or do you take your own and have your wife or a friend take them and Photoshop them and everything else? What do you do to update your promotional material?
Some of the events that I've been to that Jessica Rosa at Holiday Photo Magic shows up to. She does the professional headshots, and that's something that a lot of guys take advantage of. If she's at an event, they will go in with her and get her to do those shots. She does all that fancy schmancy editing and can even make me look good, believe it or not. So, I mean, that's a great way to do it. Again, as Randy mentioned, if you've got a nice digital camera or even an iPhone or hey, even a Samsung will work. They've got that pro version on their camera app that does a really good job. Now, matter of fact, some people are saying that the new Samsungs look better than the new iPhones. So it's a battle back and forth there on who has the best equipment. But if you've got either one of those, they work really nice. Again, you have to do your own editing, find an editing program if you want to do that sort of thing. And I think that it's important to put out the best side and photo that you can when it comes to promotional value. So
Yeah, see, some of those when you get professional pictures done, they just blow me away. The extra, of course, the backgrounding they do, and the shadowing and the things that they add, that those are just priceless to have. Now, you might not, maybe can't afford to do them every year, but I think they're almost a must to add to your repertoire or your resume or whatever you want to call it as, or your website. And then add a few of your own if you can do, like Bob said, with a nice iPhone. Like I said, I mix both together because, or sometimes you get a great picture from an event that you can use, but those aren't always promotional pictures because you can't use children in them. You usually. So, but if you get a photographer or do your own, those you can use as a very very good promotional picture.
and that's what you want if you're promoting yourself as Santa, Mrs. Claus, or the Clauses, or an elf. You don't want other children or children in the photos, even if it's your grandbabies or nieces. You want to highlight just you and as Santa, Mrs. Claus, and an elf. So those are important, and many of us work with professional photographers doing mini sessions each year in October, November. Uh, you know, work out a deal with one of your photographers that you work with and say, "Hey, can I have just this one picture to use for promotional value, and I will give you credit." Most of them will say yes in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I definitely
All
agree.
right,
Very good. All right,
let's go
let's see what
see.
we got
Let's
here.
go see what the masses have to say
All
about all this.
righty, let's start out here with
On Dana's, it's not supposed to
there
be
we go.
photo.
Dana's got um Dana got and Photoshop. We work with several photographers who take portraits and that give us pictures that we can use every year. And like Bob
Yes,
was saying, you work with a photographer, they give you photos. Um, that's a nice trade-off. Uh, Charlie
she
says,
comes back to say, Randy, sorry to interrupt you,
I'm
that
sorry, go
she
ahead.
didn't mean Photoshop. I guess her phone corrected her.
Okay.
So no Photoshop, she says.
Oh, no Photoshop, Jay. Okay, got you down there. It was after Charlie's. Got
Yeah.
you. Um, Charlie said professional photos every couple of years. And that's what I said last year. We don't always change a whole lot every year, but sometimes we get a new suit. We get a new, ladies get a new outfit. It's a great thing to update that professionally. But I use a one, Charlie says, he also says, but I update my one sheet and photo sheet each year. A lot of Santas do a one sheet sell sheet, and that usually has a close up, an action or a full body, and then an interaction. I was saying earlier, don't put children in them, and a lot of them don't want when you. Sometimes they want to see a reaction with a child in that. But my suggestion, if you do like Charlie says, do a one sheet. Try not to do the face too much. Just if they're excited in the picture, get us maybe a half view or something of the child. Charlie White's next. Hi, Charlie. Carl. Excuse me, Carl. Charlie. Charlie was before. Hi, Carl. I get new photos for professional photographers that I work with each year. See, that's great. If you're like Bob does a lot, and a lot of the Santas do, professional photographers, get those pictures. That's a great thing to do. Actually, actually, several of them. That's not lucky. As a part of the compensation, that way I can have fresh photos all the time. And you write that into your contract with the photographer. Erica Moisha, good to see you. We do both. Depends upon if I got new outfits or different look, spring, summer, or fall. And that's exactly what I said. They're saying is you always change your outfits. You always change your look a little bit. And now, since it's so to be able to be so diverse look, you want to keep that up to be able to sell yourself. Hi, Jackie. Jackie's next. Lucky me. My husband's a photographer. Lucky you. Yes, that really does. Excuse me. That definitely does help. If you're dressed up, take a picture. Bingo. If you're dressed up, take a picture. There are so many times you walk outside, especially here sometimes, and you got beautiful snow. You're going to do an event. Wow, what's better than to stand in front of a pine tree, and in front of the snow? Like she said, you're dressed up, take a picture. That is, and you might not be able to use it, and it might not be your promotional picture, but it can go on your website. It's just a great picture. Hey, Mike. Mike's next. Every year we trade photo sessions with main photographers as promos of ourselves, and there's Santa's photo shots, shoots, shoots. Same thing. It's do that trade-off, but write that up into your contract with the photographers, and every year they'll understand that Santa or Mrs. Claus is going to take a couple pictures. They don't, like Bob says, they don't mind as long as they get their credit that it was taken by such and such photographer, and it's giving them advertisement also. Ernie's next. Update website quarterly. I use Facebook and content at least once a month or more than now. A TikTok, Instagram as well. And that's what we talked about last week, updating on a regular basis. Hal is next. Hal Grant. Hi, Hal. I always get permission to use professional photos from the photographer that I work with, only with permission from the parents. That's necessity to get only. Sometimes you have to even sign a waiver if you want to put their pictures in it, to have their facial features in. That's probably the safest thing to do. Is get the children's or the parents' approval. I know there are newspapers still. Newspapers, that used to be a big deal. You used to have to get permission if they were doing a picture and it went in the newspaper for a child that was underage, a parent's permission. So same thing I think applies on Santa and being around that. I think it's just safer to do that. So, but everybody seems to be doing the same thing, same idea, update as much as possible, a little bit of both. I love the one, if you're dressed up, take a picture. I love that line. That's something I can remember when I'm dressed up. Hey, I'm dressed up, take a picture.
Santa Tom high up in Vancouver, Washington is joining us, and he's over on YouTube. His comment lags just a moment coming in, but we got it here. He says, "What are your thoughts on non-Santa headshots?" And again, promotional value. If you're going to do acting of any sort, plays, uh, even do things for like theme parks, those sort of things. Sometimes non-headshot Santa headshots are a good idea. Mix them in, give them one or two of each, and that way they have something to look back on in your portfolio to see what you may be able to, your diverse look may be. So
Next one we got Rick. Hey Rick, how are you? I think I lucked into a photo at a shoot. I had my daughter take one of my reflection on a gold Christmas ornament. See, that's the thing. You never know when that perfect picture can happen. It just so don't miss it. You're dressed up, like I said, dressed up. Take a picture. You don't know what you can use.
think outside the box and use those type
Yeah,
of unique photos to your advantage.
yeah, yeah. That can just it's just like it doesn't have to just be Santa like that. It could be a breathtaking Santa picture or a Mrs. Claus.
Look
Yeah,
off. You don't even have to be
yeah,
looking at the camera. You can look off, get a
yeah.
profile pic or something where you're intensely into painting a toy, or I mean, there's just so many variations
So
of
many.
photos, and not always that traditional looking in, like Randy says, smiling directly into the camera. Is sometimes not even the best one. Sometimes there's others, as Rick mentioned. Reflection in a Christmas tree ornament. And something that falls back on what we were talking about last week, Randy, is think about your websites, think about your social media, think about keeping those new photos, those new opportunities to show yourself and showcase yourself, and update those photos, and update every chance you get. You don't have to wait 1, 2, 3 years to do it. Do it as soon as and as often as you get that shot that you think, wow. As Jessica Rosa always says, that's the Norman Rockwell that she's looking for, that wow factor. And
And
so
that's what's
true.
cool about a photographer. They have that vision because that's what their job is. They have that vision to know what is that Norman Rockwell look or that image. And that's where it's always good to get those done besides some of your own or like you said, take a picture. But blend them both and as often as you can. I know they're not inexpensive, they're not cheap, but they're necessity um, to promote yourself.
Bill Corbett's got a good point there, Randy.
Is that right?
Bill Corbett has a good point there.
Oh, there
And
we go. When I always do free events and I get agreements that I can use photos taken during the event. See, that's you're doing a free event. You're not getting paid. Well, the advantage is this is what my payment is be able to use pictures from the event.
yep, exactly.
There's always ways of making it work when you have a photographer around or you're doing an event, or like it says, when you're dressed up, get the picture. And there's always ways of doing that and updating on a regular basis. Um, Even though maybe our beard lengths won't change or Mrs. Claus's wig might not change, but um, something can change, and it's just nice to have that fresh look every once in a while. That
Fresh.
that newer.
I like that term, fresh. Yep.
So
All right, Randy.
good, very good, very
I
good,
think
guys.
all
As
comments
always,
have
thank
been
you.
around. Great topic as always, Randy. Thank you so much for your contribution there. And let's go ahead and move on to the next one. As a business, yes, we clauses are a business. Do you have a mission statement or even a business plan? Do you include setting yearly goals? And in those goals, do you define what makes hiring you a viable option? A lot there to decipher through.
Yeah.
As a business, yes, we're a business. Do you have a mission statement or even a business plan? Especially going into it for you new Santas, if you're getting started, those are things that you need to think about that most guys probably doesn't even pop into their head at first, but it's something to think about. Do you include setting yearly goals after you're established? And in those goals, do you define what makes hiring you an option, a viable option?
And there's one more on there from Hal, he just posted.
Hal said, this is probably back to Randy's, right?
Yes.
Hal said, I did a contest where parents shared their favorite photos on my Facebook page. That's a great point, Hal. And something else, going back to Randy's question and what Hal just said, think about this, guys. If you have local news media in your area, I know here in the DFW area, we have 4 major news networks. And each year, families send in their photos with Santa. Some stations do crying, children scared type photos. Others do pet photos. So if you're in a local market where there are news medias, there's always a chance that your pictures will show up there. And for me, each year I go over there and search and see what they've got. And I've gotten a lot of really great shots that I would not have gotten a copy of if it hadn't have been for me going there searching, finding them, and then saving them down to my files. Which once they're public, especially on a network TV channel, then you pretty much have got them. So
Yeah. Wow, that's a great one to check. And I never thought about checking the local things. That's wow. Good.
Tom says he's got a loose business plan, number of paid versus free amount of travel. Trying to see who this one here is. Ernie says, mission statement to enhance the lives of people in which I come in contact with. That's a great one, Ernie, great one. Hal says business plan versus mission statement, a work in progress, yearly goals. Yes. Very good. Diane, who we all know is fairly new to the industry. She's been doing it now a couple of years or a little over a year. Yes, I wrote a business plan and there is a mission statement in it. Fantastic. I am working on my one page and including my mission statement on it. Another great point, Diane. Those one sheets that Randy spoke of earlier, those are great places to put things like mission statements. And as Randy said, the photos with the children and all the things that you traditionally will not put on Facebook or social media in general that you would put on your website or as you say, not business cards are small, can't do a lot there, but those one sheets you can pack some good good information on a one sheet. Great information.
Yeah, I think.
All right, Randall, what's your thoughts on all this?
I wish I had a mission statement. I think they're a great thing to have. I guess I do have yearly goals to what I want to do. Do I want to do how many? In a way, I kind of think how many days I want to work. What's my yearly? This is for the season itself. How many hours I want to work? What kind of financial end of it I want to end up with? So those are the biggest goals for there. And then to go out to wonder, like you said, why they hire me. That's something that takes some thought process. You gotta know how to sell yourself. What makes hiring you a viable option, and that's a big line there. What makes me? Why should they hire me? Then there's 300 and some odd Santas here in Michigan. There is so many talented Santas, Mrs. Clauses in my area. So you're really gonna have to define why. And I never probably have done that to probably the degree I probably should. But the mission statement would be a cool idea to try to come up with something that doesn't sound hokey, but that really means what I need for the season and what the people should expect. I think that would be kind of a fun one to put together.
And it's a great point you bring up there too, Randy, about being in a larger market like you are, where you're at, me in the DFW area, hundreds of Santas in our areas. And again, maybe that one word, that one statement, that one picture that we talked about earlier could make a difference in those folks reaching out to you first. And could be the difference between you getting that gig or one of your brothers getting that gig, which is fine. It's up to the clientele. The clients are the ones that choose, and they have the free will to choose. You just want to make the best impression you can with the limited amount of time and space you have to do it. Tom says again, and enough profit to upgrade my equipment, i.e., costuming, handouts, props, and he goes on to say, and schools, which is a great thing also to talk about. Uh, we kind of mentioned this last week about setting back a percentage of what you earn so that you can do these things. Don't just, many of us are on a fixed income and need what little income we have to kind of help carry us through the season, no less the year. But I mean, still, if you will put back just a portion, 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever you can afford to put back, a lot of times if you put that money back and it's not there in the open where you can just reach out and grab it, it's kind of in a safe spot, a hiding spot, whatever you want to call it, a place where you don't think about it daily, then it's there when you need it for those type of things. Rick says, our mission statement, we create memories. Rick, that's a great one. Mine is making memories that last a lifetime. And I know there's a lot of Santas and Mrs. Clauses and elves that have similar type of mission statements, but they are so true. It's that one little statement that kind of jumps out to the clientele and they say, I like the way he put that, or I like the way she said that, and it can make a difference. Jackie says, I wrote up a business plan when I first started and then had to throw it out the window. That's true too. Best laid plans don't always work out or don't always, become something that is realistic in the end. Doesn't hurt to dream. It doesn't hurt to reach for the stars. But then again, if you come up a little bit short, don't count yourself short. Don't get mad about it. Back up, take 2 steps back, rewrite it, figure out where you overreached and try to do better. Your second year, your third year, your fourth year. Jackie's been doing this a long time. Those are words of the wise from her. Looks like we got Mike says, yes, we have a mission statement. It helps us identify the kind of gigs we want to go for business plans. Yes, as well. It helps for our first year, and then we continue to adopt, adjust each year.
And that's what Mike's saying. You learn to adjust each year because even your mission statement or your business plan can probably change because things change. Your
Absolutely.
finances change, or your ideas, goals change, so that they can change too. So
Yeah, for me, I started off first couple of years as an independent, me and my wife working together as clauses. And then, the opportunity came up to become a mall Santa, something I always wanted to do, which, if I hadn't done those first couple of years, I don't think I would have been prepared for that mall position. But I wanted to try it 1 year. What the heck? If I like it, I may go back. If I don't, I'll go back doing what I, was doing. I'll kind of shared out my clientele that I'd already built for those first couple of years with a couple of local Santas under the terms that, hey, I'm letting you have these this year, but I may want them back next year if they're willing to take me back, and here I am 11 years into the deep end of mall Santa. So it was something that just turned out being what I like doing. So Ernie says business plan goal is to become better each every year and to eventually have my own location. That would be great. I think a lot of us dream of that, Ernie. I know years ago, even though I fell in love with the mall, I saw the writing on the wall with malls and the decline of so many malls. I've been lucky at my mall is still pretty viable, but many malls are in decline for various reasons. And wouldn't it be nice to have our own trailer like Spangle's building, which uh, we talked with Spangle about that about 6 or 7 years ago, and it's something that he's been planning ever since. And he is finally financially able to put a trailer together and going to do great things with it. Boy, it is nice. I really like what he's got going on there. A storefront, a Santa storefront. There's so many different things. There's just so many issues that come up with storefronts unless you know the real estate uh, or the property owner and management company. Boy, there is a lot of red tape to jump through, and most places will be willing to talk to you about a 3 month lease. If that building has been empty for a while, but somebody could come along the next year, rent that space up for 12 months or
Yeah.
beyond, and
Yeah.
your location is gone, and you got to scramble and go all back through that again. So those are things to think about. Hal says, I always get the event Instagram and Facebook links I use so I can search for their photos. Great point. Checking newspaper, social media. I need to do more often. Sorry for past questions. My typing is slow. You're okay, Hal. These two segments or first two questions kind of mingle and fall together anyway. And we only move on for the sake of not having dead airspace. So you're good. Anytime you got something to say, you just reach out and say it, brother. I'm not sure who we got here again. Is this going to be Santa Christopher? Yes, Santa Christopher says you can check hashtags after events too to find photos. Like I was in Boise. I'll check local hashtags after an event. Hashtag Boise, hashtag Festival of Trees. Great point. I did that Festival of Trees a couple of years and really enjoyed it here in the DFW area. After Ernie.
Dana.
Dana,
Yeah.
okay. We do not have a mission statement, but it is definitely something we need to work on. Our success has mostly been word of mouth, which is a great thing, Dana, no doubt about it. We had one large client that recommended us to an event, a larger client last year. And, really, you can't put a value on word of mouth, but if you do yourself justice in your portrayal, word of mouth is probably one of the best free advertisements you will ever get. We mentioned it was last week or week before about doing Google reviews or different types of reviews when you uh, do an event or you go to buy a big ticket item or just anything. It doesn't matter. I always check reviews first. And again, sometimes you can believe them, sometimes you can't, but an overall picture of a number of reviews, you can get a good feel for whether or not, let's just say, a product is worth buying. And it's not just a bunch of shiny objects that they dangle in front of you to get your money. It's actually something that is worth stepping off into. Well, I tell you, I'm behind on these comments. Let's say, is that all of them?
I think we got see Ted Flynn just showed up to say hi. But I think you
Hello,
got all the
Ted,
thank you.
one of our brothers from another mother.
Definitely think
Okay.
good. Again,
Fantastic. We did our half hour on that. That's what our time is usually tries to allow. So are you ready to move on? Let's do some trivia.
let's do some trivia. Let's get it
Well,
going.
I'm praying on trivia this week. I'm praying on please, 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 please. All
Oh
right,
goodness.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randyl and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
couple of things here, Randy, before we move on. I just love that photo of my daughter in that promo. I had put a promo together there, and her mother saw the picture I used, and she said, "Your daughter's not going to be happy with that picture." And I said, "Oh, you don't think so?" She says, "No." So we call Angela over. She says, "No, Dad, do away with that one. Here, I'll give you one to use." And I do love that picture. Now, the other note on my daughter is she scolded me last week, and that's good. It's a good thing. About these trivia questions. So I told her, I said, okay, you pick the trivia question for next week and let's see how well it goes. So this was on Angela, but now, all due respect, I did take what she gave me and put some blanks in there to make it what it is. So if you don't happen to get the right answers, it's on me as usual. Yeah, that's Bob's fault. All right, Randy, go ahead.
So before I read the question, do you want to leave the year out? You want them to get the year also? You want to put a
No,
blank
let's
there?
just go ahead and let them have the year. Let's make it a little bit easier this week and see if we
Okay,
can get
I know
a
we
winner
talked
with it.
about that before
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing there what the answer is. So, alrighty, guys, here's the trivia question for today. On this date, March 11th, 1888. That's right, 1888. What was known as one of the most severe records in American history? On this date, March 11th, 1888, what was known as one of the most severe
Recorded.
recorded in American history?
Okay, the second half of that is
It's a blank in there.
yeah, and then
Oh,
you got
and wait a minute. There we go. History. And there's blank blank and influential Republican politician died as a result of this event. So we need three different headlines used to describe this event. But
you know
there
what the
was
event was, who the politician was that died due to it, and then there was 3 headlines that were used to describe the event we're talking about. We'll take any of the 3. Like I was telling Randy in the green room, not a lot of publications in the late 1800s, so the sources were limited. So I took the 3 top headlines, and any way you describe it to us, we'll take it.
and also need the name of the politician. Basically, is what we're
Right.
also looking for, not just the event.
Hey, I see some good answers already coming in, Randy. My goodness, they're on it today. I am
Yeah.
so glad. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, well, we'll let Angela decipher through that as we move along. And so I
Go
guess
to
let's go
Elfin.
ahead and get into Elfin Chatterbox News, which is not new news, it's old news, but we'll do it anyway.
We got to do it.
Over to you, Angie.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Noah Lott with Elfin Chatterbox News Report, reporting for the Bob, Randyl and Company live show. Remember you can catch our live reports every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Now back over to you guys in the studio for the latest on this breaking news event.
There is a bit of new news, and I guess we'll go ahead and start this segment off with Randy. Kind of a somber announcement was made yesterday. We lost one of our local prominent Santas here in the DFW area. Santa Claude McPherson Jr. of Kaufman, Texas, passed away yesterday. Many of you know Claude. Many of you new folks probably don't because he hasn't been as active on Facebook. The one thing that stands out about Claude, not only always being just one of the nicest gentlemen, willing to help, talk, do whatever he could for the Santa community. He was also involved in the very first convoy of toys the Lone Star Santas held, which was a spur of the moment event when the Joplin, Missouri tornado hit a number of years ago. The Lone Star Santas got together and said, we need to do something. That's when they formed the first ever convoy of toys. And Claude McPherson traveled up to Joplin with the Lone Star Santas and was part of that event. And it's sad. We're going to miss Claude. He was a good guy. And so just thought we'd bring that piece of news to you. Okay, so we've also said week in, week out here that TNL is going to the ISA in this year, Memphis, Tennessee. We're going to be there. We've got 2 booths secured. We're going to be right by Spangle. Find Spangle, find us, find Spangle, and drop by and let us do an interview with you. If you've got a few moments, you want to talk, come by and let us interview you. Let's put a mic to you and see what you got to say. All right, so also we're going to move on to the School of Santas. We all know School of Santas is going to be coming in July 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. Jeff McMullen, Kringle University. I spoke to Jeff this week. He's doing great. He's busy as he can be. And we've agreed to get him back on the Tuesday Night Live show coming soon. Haven't got a date penciled in. He said he would have to check his schedule going forward and see where he could work himself in. But he is so eager to come back on and talk about the new things going on with Kringle U and the events that he's going to be doing this year, including School of Santas. And Randy, tell us about Ben. Ben joined us late this afternoon. I want to say hi to Ben. And Ben said he was late because he's trying to prepare for this event coming up. So tell us about it, Randy.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks away for the Master Claus Academy down in Columbus, Ohio, March 22nd, 23rd, 24th, with Jeff McMullen, Santa Mac, and Lee Andrews, two incredible performers, not just incredible Santas, but incredible performers outside the white beard. So that'll be, there are 2 tickets left. That is it for less than 2 weeks away. So get with Ben and swoop up those last 2 tickets or grab one, whatever you need. It's going to be an incredible event to listen to both of those gentlemen each day teach class, besides just hanging out with a bunch of great people during the fellowship time and all that. So again, it goes on with School of Santa and everyone. It's that fellowship that just is priceless beyond the payment of your schooling, as far as I'm concerned. I love that part of it.
Really is, something that we as entertainers, as a business, we have to look at is cost for the return factor. And that's just something that you can't judge or put a dollar value on, is that fellowship, the schools, the camaraderie, the togetherness, as we know, fellowship, all the things that go into a school. Yes, it costs you travel, it costs you meals, it costs you hotel rooms, it costs you the cost of the event. But man, what you get back from those, and then if you secure 1 decent or 2 decent gigs because of what you learned or what someone shared with you, there's your money back. But last year you did 40 events. This year you do 50. And 3 or 4 of those was due to something that you learned or something you did different, a different way of marketing yourself, something that you added that was new to your community, and they hire you. And of course, you don't always know if that's why they hired you, but you can also guarantee yourself that somewhere along the line, whatever you invest in yourself, which is a term Gordon Bailey loved to mention. Speaking of, yesterday was Gordon's birthday. It was kind of a somber day for me. Really missing that guy. He meant so much to me. Oh yeah.
Sorry, I had to do it.
But that was something that he would always say, and it just comes back. It's so true. All right, moving right along here. Just want to mention that North Texas 11th annual 2-day classes are in the works. We'll see what we can do. It's going to be later on, late in the summer, early fall 2024. Date to be announced and location. All right, let's go ahead and skip right along here and jump into what TNL upcoming guests and shows will be. Now, tomorrow night, I was telling Randy again back in the green room, because he and I do a lot of chatting back there, even though sometimes it's fast and quick and we get a lot said. But this week is a tough week for our shows, especially the Tuesday Night Live show. The Monday show is not as hard. It's just me and Randy. If it's just me and Randy and you guys show up, we're happy. Tuesday Night Live, though, is built around guests, featured guests. And first 3 years, this same week, every year has been a struggle. No different this year. Again, we mentioned in the opening of the show, you got spring break, you got Lone Star Santa Roundup, you got events going on everywhere. You got folks that are doing, for instance, MAPS meetings, different groups that get together for their luncheons this week. That do it either monthly or bi-monthly. So this is just a tough week. We reached out. Now, we do not have a featured guest tomorrow night per se, but Santa Mel will be joining us. She's going to drop by the studio for a little bit and chat, and she's got some new things to talk about. And we're calling it Claus Cards and More Open Mic Night. Now, we're going to be showcasing Spangle's newest products. And yes, which one is that? Randy?
That's me, number 20.
I got this little bugger here in the mail today. Can everybody see
I got
that?
that in the mail today. That's fantastic.
No, this is Michael.
That's Michael. Fantastic.
Michael Howe got his today in the mail. It's fun, what without getting too deep into the clause cards, because that's what we're going to do a lot of talk about tomorrow night. The new things that Spangle's got going on, the new products he's got. Matter of fact, I'm wearing one of the new products today. I'll let him to talk about that tomorrow if he wishes. But anyway, there's a little clue for you. The clause cards, it kind of takes you back to a today's gone by. And what I mean by that is mail, actual mail
Mail.
that comes to the mail addressed to you with a return address on it. I mean, it kind of feels good to get a piece of mail instead of going to your email and looking and deleting and moving on. I mean, the fun part about the clause cards is trying to collect them all and then just, I mean, reaching out. Michael and I have had a couple of chats, quick ones may be it, but a couple of chats, and it's good to talk to him. We get busy. We don't always have time, and this kind of gives you just a moment to stop and reach out to someone and say, "Hey, I'm number so and so. I'd love to have your card. How you been, brother? Gosh, man, you're looking good. I love your card. What I've seen on the Facebook groups, and just gives you a chance to do that reconnection."
It was fun. I dropped nine of them out today. It was a lot of fun.
Now,
It's neat. I mean, filling out like you said, to fill out the old fashioned, putting a stamp on it. That's such an odd thing to do, but
it
so
is.
cool.
Matter of fact, I had a couple of books of stamps, and we've gone through them. I've got to go get more. I've got letters ready to go out right here, or cards ready to go out right here. Just got to get some stamps to get them going. Okay,
Fun.
so tomorrow night, clause cards and more open mic night. Like I said, Spangle debuted a lot of new product down in San Antonio at North Pole Cornerstones event that we had back early February, and he's got more stuff that's come in since then. The guy is always bringing new stuff in. Got some pretty cool stuff coming out. So tomorrow night will be, however long the show lasts, it'll last. But we got a lot to talk about tomorrow night, so don't miss that. All right. Hey, Randy, how about you cover the next couple?
Then we got March 19th. Yeah, it'll be the middle of March already. Santa Doug and Jen from Indiana. Santa Mrs. Claus. It's always great. I just love listening to Santa Mrs. Claus, how they interact and how they help each other. It is can be such like, and I guess an orchestra to me, how they can play off each other. That's what they're going to be talking about. They've only had a few years experience, but the experience they have is phenomenal. And like Rex Ray said this a couple years ago, man, get the newbies, get the people that have just started out the few years experience. They have just as much thoughts and processes as somebody that's been around for 30, 40 years, and sometimes more because they're fresh, they're new. So it's going to be great to listen to Doug and Jen of Santa and Mrs. Claus to share things they've done. They went to Kringle U, so they've had some great training besides with Jeff. So don't miss that on the 19th. Then on the 26th, Santa Patrick Moss, a diverse Santa from Houston. Besides just a Santa, he's a multi-talented actor. And wait till you hear his voice. Singing is phenomenal. I wish I could sing. Oh, there you go. Wow, what a great thing from Santa Patrick. That is so cool book. So wait till an author, a singer, besides an actor, it's going to be an incredible day on the 26th. Don't miss it. That should be a cool book to read. Wow.
And look at this, Randy. Let me see which one I'm trying to show first. You have this one here, this version,
Best Friends of Christmas.
and you have this version.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Is that something?
That is very cool, especially for
Two
certain
languages.
areas of the country for language. You
Two
need
languages. Yep.
to,
Absolutely.
to be bilingual like that. That is fantastic. I wish I knew more
sent,
than C.
sent Angie and I a copy
Wow.
to share, but one of each, the Spanish and one in English.
That's very cool. So don't miss the 26th. 19th and 26th got two. What a great way to start the year also. We've already had some great guests already. Tomorrow night's just going to be fun and interesting to hear what's going on. But then the 19th, 26th, So, Michigan, we all know it's free. That's the big thing, guys. Don't forget, it's free. Bob's got a list of a whole bunch of people that he's hooking up with, connecting to get so many more guests throughout the year.
Yep.
It's
Just got to get them penciled the date in. Everybody, like I said, it's a busy time of year. You wouldn't think so for closets, but it really, really is. Now that all that said, Randy, Spangle is on with us, and I didn't want to tell too much because I wasn't sure what all he was going to throw out tomorrow night. And Spangle, correct me if I'm wrong, but are you going to talk about your new beard products, or is that something you're not debuting yet? That was what I was talking about with the beard. He does say though that tomorrow will be the first time that the masses get to see the new shoes. He's got new shoes that he's come out with that are pretty cool. I don't know if he's ready to debut the new boots or not, but he's got some new boots. He's going to be talking about the Claws card holders. He said, look on the Claws card Facebook page. We do have an album available. That is the folder to put your cards in. That's a new item. All things that he'll show pictures of tomorrow night and let everyone know about. He said we can talk about it. We just not have the product yet, but we will talk about it because it is a for done deal. And that way you'll go ahead and start letting folks know not to run out and buy something that you are coming out with. I got to say the product I use today, the aroma is incredible. And I'll leave it at that.
And the lotions.
And he also sent us a sample of some lotion that he has. And I got to tell you, man, being diabetic and having eczema, I have a trouble, and many of you have seen in the past where I wear band-aids on my fingers because of dry skin and cracking. He sent some lotion to us, and I used it today, and I gotta say, man, I love his lotion. Great smell to it, and what I love most is it's not heavy. It goes on light, and it absorbs really, really quick, and it's not greasy, but it really makes your hands soft. So that's something else he can talk about is this lotion.
nonstop, Spangle. That guy's always thinking. Always.
Some stuff going on. Yeah. Yeah. We even talked about something he's had for a while that I don't think a lot of people know that he has. And of course, the lotion, that's what got us into the lotion itself was he has a fingernail file that is made out of ceramic that will polish your fingernails and make it look like you got clear, high gloss shine to it. But it's nothing more than polishing your nail. He done one of mine as a demonstration one time, and I was shocked. Okay, we could talk about all that tomorrow night. We don't want to get too deep into that. That way, everybody will come back tomorrow night and check out the show. Okay, do we have a trivia winner, Angela?
We do.
All right, got one, Randy. We got one.
Wow. All right. It's a winner. Only took a month. That's all right. Not
Okay.
bad. That's okay.
Well, go ahead and
Fun.
reveal the answers, and then we'll tell you who won it.
On this date, March 11th, 1888, what was known as one of the most severe recorded blank in American history. Blank blank, an influential Republican politician, died as a result of this event. All righty, guys. The politician was Roscoe Conklin,
Okay.
and it was known as either the Great Blizzard of 1888 or the Great White Hurricane.
Or
Or
just
the
Great Blizzard. Yeah,
Great
without
Blizzard.
anything on
Yeah.
it. It's three different major headlines that I was able to research and come up with, and those were the three headlines that were used. And I know, boy, I was looking kind of in the comments as we were talking and going through some of the other stuff we've been talking about for since we've done the reading of the trivia question. And folks got in there and got into some stuff that's talking about snow being so deep that it was up past the second story of buildings. I mean, this was a blizzard. Who's our winner, Angela?
Carl White.
Carl White.
All right, Carl.
Carl. I believe I still have your current address. If I don't, I will reach out to you. But if I do, I will go ahead and get that sent over to Santa Wade Kaufman at santascloset.org and get you a goodie package on the way, sir. Thank you so much for playing, everyone. How much fun was that? Thank you, Angela, for coming up with that trivia question. And thank you guys for playing along, as I said. Okay. Are you ready for Santa's TIPS?
Hopefully we are.
Let's go.
Let's go. Hi, everybody, and thank you again for letting me have time with you with Santa's tips. Now, I'm going to use the I today, and for just some basic information. But is we talked about this earlier today that I can't believe it's only March, but how many things that we are already doing, and that's where we in the Santa or holiday performers industry are very, very lucky. Far luckier than any organization I belong to when it comes to magic or clowning or ventriloquism or whatever. We have so many more things going on a weekly basis that we can connect to. It's amazing all year long that we have time now to get ready for our holiday season all year. We have such a vast array of places to connect to. Of course, I'll talk about us Mondays, Bob Randall and Company show joining us here. Of course, Tuesday Night Live is weekly and free. So right there, you have two things to begin with that are free for you to connect with your fellow performers, to learn, to meet people like that. Of course, there are so many others beyond that, of course, on the internet. The Thursday night, Mel, she has her fellowship group. It's a great group to belong to. Every Thursday night, she likes to do something. So there's another free group to join. You listen to Mitch Allen and the Higher Santa group every Thursday. There's so many things that we can connect with so often that we can either rejuvenate ourselves or to learn more on a regular basis all year long. It's phenomenal. And the amount of people that put time and effort into all these things and take the time and their talent to want to put it out there is phenomenal. But there's not just those that are free on Zoom or free on StreamYard or whatever. Of course, join your local organizations. Connect with. I know most of you people are connected with iBurbs or here we have MAPS, Michigan Association of Professional Santas. Of course, there's Lone Star Santas. There's Ohio, and there's so many different groups that you can join where you're at. I'm sure you can find a connection, and they go to luncheons, make luncheons, connect with your fellow Santas and Mrs. Clauses, and build that fellowship, build that friendship, build that camaraderie with them out there. And that's what it's crazy that the other business doesn't have that. The other entertainment business just doesn't have that. And we are so fortunate that there's so many people that want to give, and that we can learn from, that it's that easy to get to. There's of course we connect. We just talked about a minute ago about how many schools are coming up. That again is a cost, but it's another connection we do on a yearly, how many times a year you can go to a school, but you just learn so much at those, and you keep connected in this business. You keep connected to fellow Santas and Mrs. Clauses. And that's what's just amazing. It's overwhelming to think and to see how much is given by everybody. It's phenomenal. Of course, there's Facebook groups that you connect with. Hundreds and hundreds of Facebook groups to connect with. Just joined another one about Super Sunday or something. It's a great group. But there's so many there you can connect with. You can hear from other Santas or Mrs. Claus. You can ask questions. You can, if you have a question, there isn't a Santa or Mrs. Claus out there that doesn't have an answer. So use those groups. Use your local groups. Use these types of things, or your local Facebook groups to learn those things. They're on there all the time. be like, even like I said, your local groups maps. We do a monthly meeting, a Zoom meeting also, that we just get together just to see how everybody's doing. So it's just amazing what this holidays performers group, or however you want to call the connection of Santas, Mrs. Clauses, and elves, whatever title you want to give everybody, it is amazing. The fellowship, the connection, the love that's all out there, that you can find, and you can find an answer in a heartbeat, because it's so readily available, and you use it to your advantage. Like we've talked, use it to your advantage of learning something new, or if you have a question, or just ask it, pose it. It is out there. So I know we talked about this earlier, but I love these new cards, man. I tell you, I just think it brings back childhood of doing baseball cards. It's kind of a giddy thing. Oh, I want to get your card. I want to get so and so's card. So it's do those things. It builds that connection with everybody in the business. And we are so fortunate. We are so fortunate that there are so many people want to give, and there's so many talented Santas and Mrs. Clauses and elves out there. I mean, it's mind-boggling, the experience, the talent, the everything that's out there. Use it to your advantage. Connect with, and besides, the love that is out there is overwhelming. So join every group, not every group, but join as many as you can. There is no reason why we can't. And I know mostly everybody here is connected to so many groups, but we are so fortunate that we have that. And I go to a monthly, I haven't lately because of the surgery and the business, but a monthly magic meeting, but it's just once a month. There's no Zoom things, and there's 60 people there, and you watch a thing, and it's a wonderful thing. You get to connect now and then, but it isn't the same as this Santa organization. There's nothing the same as this holiday. It's phenomenal. We are so lucky. Again, I hope I didn't sound preachy about everything else, but we are so lucky. But join things, go to things, connect with people, ask questions. I know you guys out there do, because you're here, and thank you so much for being here. I can't be any more blessed and thankful for everybody showing up. Thank you again. Love you all. Thank you for listening.
I guess it helped to unmute. I see. Great job, Randy. I got three things here real quick to clear up. It's not ceramic on the file that I was talking about with Spangle. It's crystal.
Crystal.
Who would know? Who would think?
Crystal.
Anyway, number two, if you join tomorrow night's Tuesday Night Live, there will be a complete rundown of all the folks who have Claus cards and their card numbers. So be sure to bring some paper and pencil with you to the show. That way you can jot down each one of the card numbers in correlation with who it belongs to. And that way, if you don't have it, you can start your list. You can check off who you got, who you don't have, and be able to reach out from there. And what was the third thing? I don't remember what the third thing was now. Oh, well, good enough. If it comes to me, it comes to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump out of this and jump into the next one, Nightcap.
Nightcap.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. So again, that is a How to Catch an Elf, and as it says there in the promo, you can get those for How to Catch a Reindeer, How to Catch Santa Claus, How to Catch a Snowman. It's a complete series of books that is around each one of the title subjects, and a great little book to have for any home visit, story time. Pictures are easy. As the last slide showed, a couple of pages out of the book there of How to Catch an Elf. Reach out. You can find those. They're available everywhere. And so get you one of those and put in your book bag. All right, Randy, I remember what I was going to tell you, brother. I tried to join Mel's Zoom meeting this last Thursday, and I did not know that she had changed times, or at least I was under the assumption that it was Central Time. So at 8 o'clock Central Time, I'm sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting in the waiting room only to realize that I'm an hour late.
Yeah. It always was 7 o'clock for her. It always was. When she was in Arkansas, she was always 7 o'clock. And now, of course, she's 7 o'clock in Michigan time, which is Eastern Standard. So, yeah.
I noticed in the comments on that there was a number of other folks that was in the same boat I was in, so it wasn't just me. I'm thinking, well, good. I'm good. I'm glad I'm not the only stupid one. So,
Yeah, it
and if I'd have
happens.
just paid attention and read, when she sent the link out, I would have seen it said Eastern Time, but instead, I was on the assumption it was Central Time, as it always had been. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry,
No,
Mike, that that book traumatizes you, Mike. That's sorry. Mike says that book traumatizes Phineas.
I could see where that could be the case. Phineas would be a little touchy about that one for sure.
Oh goodness. But
It
yeah,
is a good book. Again, How to Catch Santa, How to Catch a Reindeer, Snowman. It's a whole plethora of different titles, and each one built around that. So, but same author, same illustrator.
pictures look great. They look very,
Yeah.
very, especially for kids. They look great.
Uh-huh.
The illustrations look wonderful.
Now
So
there is overall 32 pages in that book, so it is a little longer. It's a story that it's not going to be a 3 to 5 minute story. That's going to be more of a 7 to 10 minute story. But if you've
story.
got the time and you can take that time to build that into your presentation, it's a great one to have. So, all right, Randy, you got any questions? Does anybody out there in the
And
audience?
everybody else got what else? So Tom asks, is Spangle going to do free pedicures? So I don't know
Hang on.
I don't know if
Hang on,
Spangle's going to
Randy.
do.
It just said our video ended.
Yeah, for some reason, Facebook says our video ended.
Oh,
Still going,
Yeah, YouTube is still going, and
but Facebook quit.
StreamYard's still going, so we lost Facebook. But anyway, we'll just go ahead and call it a day, and we want to thank everyone for joining us. And don't know what happened there.
yeah. Sorry, guys. We'll
Yeah,
see you
it
next week.
happens. Thanks, Randy.
See you later, guys. Thank you guys
Bye.
for showing up.
Let me, hold on a minute. Let me get off of this.
She said, "Hang on a minute."
I'm going to hang on. We're going to hang on to something.
Yeah, I looked over and it did. It showed.
Technology. Yeah, I look at my phone same way. It says, sorry, something went wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, it's only on Facebook. Okay, I'm gonna play the end video and we're done.
All right. She's gonna play the end credits, and we'll see you next time.